Welcome to Selfish Confidence, a place where we can connect and be real about how hard it is to be your damn self. My name is Jess, and my goal is to help you build confidence and belief in yourself to live any life path you want, even if it's unconventional. It's time to flip off societal pressures and connect with women who've also felt on the outside by their life choices. We're here to encourage you to grab the mic and speak your truth. I know it can be scary, but we're in this together. Let's get started. Hello, and welcome to a little confidence boost today, a little confidence corner over here, an episode for us to be able to connect on something that's going on in your life, something that you're just feeling a little twinge on. And today I'm feeling a little twinge in my stomach and in my heart, all about being different and having that feeling of being on the outside by your life choices. And I know that's what we're all about here. So maybe that's why it's been on my heart so much lately, but it just keeps coming up as a reoccurring theme. And sometimes when this happens, I feel like it's almost like a challenge, like it's a test to figure out like, oh, do you really want what you've been saying you want? And what I mean by that is oftentimes just even in social settings or in different areas of my life, sometimes the things that I want that I feel very secure in can get questioned. They can get questioned by other people, sometimes questioned by myself, questioned by people I love. And it is never coming from a place of like judgment or fear or anything. I think just some people don't get it, right? We have these different ways of living. We all live very differently behind closed doors or out loud in the rest of the world. And that can sometimes get triggered by, wait, they're doing it differently. Like, how could they really want that? Right? I feel like that's sometimes the feeling that comes up. It's not that other people are kind of like judgmental of it. It's often like, but like, I don't want that. How could you want that life? Right? And I feel that way sometimes, even just in the work that I do as wanting to be a speaker on big stages. And I love, like, as soon as you give me the microphone, I love to get on a stage and speak. Give me a mic. I could talk all day. But when you put me in a table with like a small networking group and we have to do like an open discussion, or like on Zoom, sometimes when they do the breakout rooms, my heart stops a little bit and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to talk about myself. It's so interesting that I can stand on a stage and talk in front of thousands of people like it is no thing. But in a smaller group and a really intimate and strong setting, like I can be a lot more anxious and a lot more nervous. It's just that we can sometimes be different. But for a really long time, I thought everybody wanted this life. Everybody wanted the life of speaking on stages or the entrepreneurship life or doing things, in this fun and flexible way, right? The internet sometimes makes us look so glamorous that it could be the only lifestyle you want. But that's not true. It's not true. We're all different here and we all have different choices when it comes to the life that we have. For some of us, we're really happy in our job and where we're working. And we love that 9-to-5 lifestyle. It allows us that flexibility to live our life however we want. And then there's other people who want that flexibility to be outside of a desk job, outside doing something differently. And maybe for you, it's the same. It's interesting because often when we have this conversation, for me, it goes to work. Because that unconventional life is often the entrepreneurial life that can look really strange to others. It's like, I want this freedom. But sometimes entrepreneurship means working a lot or working long hours or doing it totally different. And one thing that I've really been struggling with for a while is doing business my way, because sometimes the internet tells us there's only one way to do it. And that is not true. If you're listening to this and you're like, I want to start a business, but I don't have that much time on my hands. You don't need that much time. You can figure it out and you can do it your way. The same goes for really simple things like the people that you date or the activities or the hobbies that you have. It could be your personality type. It could be being an introvert or being an extrovert. There's so many different layers to us and how we do life differently that some people can just not understand. I bet you can think of someone right now who does life a little bit differently, and you've always wondered, like, how do they do that? Or how could they find that fun? I often think this too with my husband and some of his hobbies. I'm like, really? Like, you find that fun? Okay, you do you. And we have this layer of judgment that comes around it, or this layer of misunderstanding when it comes to other people, how they live their life and what they're doing. But we can only see it when it's turned on us. And I've just noticed it a few times lately with simple questions of people like asking, why do you do it this way? Or why do you not go out on date night? Or why this or why that? And it can be really simple and small things in what we do in our life that can create a little bit of confusion for other people. And when this happens, no matter what it is in your life, if it's your work, if it's your relationships, if it's how you live your life, if it's anything, right? Anything you do differently that you just kind of feel there's a little bit of judgment on, I want you to get really clear and confident in the choices that you make. What is it that you feel the world is judging you on? So let's say it's a hobby. Maybe you really enjoy knitting. And you would enjoy knitting on a Saturday night at home with your cat right beside you rather than go out and party. And some people will be like, that is weird. I can't believe she wants to just sit at home and knit instead of going out and like hanging out with cool people, right? But if that is your happy place, I want you to get very clear on that being your truth and what you want to do, right? We don't have to make some lame excuse and be like, oh, I'm sick, I can't make it. Like if that's your truth and you want to stay at home and knit with your cat, I want you to be really confident in that choice and that decision. When you get to that point of knowing yourself and being really confident in those choices, it becomes easier to stand in your truth. And this is something that I've noticed lately. Glenn and I very much enjoy our time at home. You know, a date for us is going out and walking on the beach or just like spending simple quality time at home. Like last night we got Chinese food and just enjoyed being together. We don't need big, elaborate date nights. It's just not our style. And we've had this conversation with several friends before where it's just like, oh, you guys don't really do date night? But for us, especially where we don't have children, date night looks really different. We enjoy, going for a walk. And from the outside, it can look really lame. I get it. I know. It looks kind of weird. But we are so genuinely happy in these choices that we make that even if the outside world doesn't get it, I can stand confident in our choices and in our relationship and how we live our life. And so when someone questions it, I'm not instantly going into my head being like, wait, are we? I don't know. Are we lame? Maybe. I don't know. And going deep. Well, do we actually love each other? Well, we don't go on date night. Does that mean we don't have a good relationship? And really spiraling. And that's when we have these identity crises and these feelings in ourselves that just don't match with what we really want in our life. And maybe that's a little too deep for a Monday morning for you, but what's really special in this is just getting to know yourself with really simple questions. What is the ideal date night for me? What is the ideal afternoon or Friday evening? What would be the ideal, snack for me to have on a Monday afternoon? These really simple questions help you to get clear. And I want to remind you that sometimes the answers to these questions change on the daily. They can change, in minutes, right? 1 minute, this ideal snack will be peanut butter and crackers. And then the next, it's actually, a whole piece of pizza. Whatever it is for you, it can change. And that being really important for you to know, right? Right now, our ideal date is a walk on the beach, summertime, our dog running around. But that could change in a couple months. Then maybe we want to go out more. We want to go bowling. We want to spend time with our friends. Whatever that is, it can change. And getting clear on who you are and confidently what you want is going to help you to live that authentically in the world. And when it gets questioned or when you feel like there's judgment on it, you can stand in your truth and say, hey, it's okay if you don't get it, but this is how I do life. And I really enjoy it. And it might inspire other people to start to do the same. We are all told to fit into this cookie cutter mold of how a marriage should look, how a business should look, how your life should look, how you should do hobbies. As women, your hobby should be X, Y, and Z, right? We're told these things for so many years. So the moment you do something differently and you step into your truth and you stand up in that and you're like, hey, this is me. This is what I like to do. And it's also okay if I change my mind and something different is next month. That's okay. You're inspiring the world. You're inspiring other women to do that too. We don't all have to fit into this cookie cutter mold that life has told us that we need to have, right? To be married at this time and to do things this time and to be celebrated for this and only this. There's so many beautiful ways that we can live. And as you step into that and as you really just start to embrace your confident self and what you want to do and who you are, the rest of the world is going to be like, heck yeah, me too. I'm with you. And I would love to know what that thing is that you're feeling in your stomach that you're just like, people judge me on this, or I feel like people judge me on this. Because sometimes we can get so wrapped up in that feeling that maybe the rest of the world really isn't questioning it, but we're just like, oh, I'm still uncomfortable with it. Again, getting confident in what you want is going to help to make that like icky feeling in your stomach of being a little different and being a little weird go away. So really leaning into, hey, this is me and I embrace it. You'll be able to stand in it confidently. So send me a message and let me know what that thing is. And if you've been loving this podcast, we are celebrating 166 episodes, which I never even thought we would get to 10. So it blows my mind that we're here. If you love Selfish Confidence and you love hanging out with me on these Mondays and Thursdays when the episodes come out, I would really appreciate a review on the podcast for Apple or Spotify, wherever you listen to it, because that helps us to get our message out to more people and really connect with people on what this podcast is all about. Being confidently you and standing in your truth and knowing that you can be yourself and the world is going to embrace it. I love you so much and I hope you have a magical week. What's up, sis? I am so glad we could hang out today. If you love this episode, send it to a friend or share it on your social media and tag me so I can personally thank you for helping me sprinkle some confidence in the world. And don't forget, you are magic. Let's show the world your shine.